Okay, hi guys. I know I haven't posted a video in like, what, a month? I'm sorry. This video is explaining why I haven't done that. So if you're planning on watching me play a game, this isn't necessarily a game, so I'm just gonna be telling you guys why I haven't posted a video in a month. I went to my cousin's house, which is in another city, so I couldn't take my computer over there since it's a PC. It's all big and it fit in my aunt's car. So I went to my cousin's house for 3 weeks, and then for the last week I haven't been. So I went to my cousin's house. I went to a little event called Warp Tour, and it was amazing. So this will be my Warp Tour experience video. I'm changing the video every second. Next thing you know, it's gonna be an next Suicide Squad trailer for Warp Tour 2015. First, let's start off with the morning, because I'm gonna give you guys a whole day. You guys didn't know everything, even when I went to the restroom. But I'm gonna tell you what happened from the morning to the end of the night. Okay, so the morning, I wake up around 6:30, and I'm going to a Warp Tour in Pomona. So it's the first Warp Tour. I woke up around 6:30 in the morning, and I was with my cousin and her friend. Since she stayed over with us, my cousin asked me if I heard what happened, and I was like, nah, cousin, what's happened? And she's like, bruh, Pierce the Veil released a song last night because they are Pierce the freaking Veil. And I love Pierce the Veil, which is one of my reasons I wanted to go to Warp Tour, since I was still kind of tired because I just woke up, and right when it was said that, I had a seizure, with foam coming out of my mouth, my head turning 360, saying I own this body, and it was crazy. So I automatically reached for my phone, and I looked up the song on YouTube, and I listened to it on repeat for 100 times, I swear. Because I am a big Pierce the Veil fan. That's right, fans plural. I'm so big of one, I am more than one. They can go on stage, get a baby, decapitate it, eat its brains, and then vomit into my mouth, and I'd be like, yes! So I fell in love with the song. I know that they're playing a Warp Tour, so I'm excited. So my cousin and her friend and I take showers at different times. We do all not fit in that little tub she has. But then we got ready. Before we left, we thought it would be a perfect time to put on sunscreen. And that's where we messed up terribly. So I got a spray sunscreen because, I can meet Vic, the singer of Pierce the Veil, and sexually spray sunscreen onto my face and rub it around while he stares at me with his mouth wide open, screeching, the regular. And I put on sunscreen, it was alright. I was like, yeah, put sunscreen. How would this mess up my day? I put the sunscreen on my cousin's friend. She was alright. Then we got to my cousin, and I had to spray sunscreen on her, and I was alright until she closed her eyes, giving me the impression on spraying her face with the sunscreen. So I spray her face as she screams. I freak out because I think I just threw holy water into her face while she's screaming, "The power of Christ compels you." And she was floating around telepathically, throwing stuff at me. Anyway, I asked her, why did she scream? She told me she wanted me to go spray her chest, not her face. Then why the hell did you close your eyes, you female dog? So I got sunscreen in her eye, and I think, oh, it's just going to go away. Ha ha ha! Let's just think that. So 2 other people show up, and they're also coming with us. But before we go, we need to pick up one more person. So you can imagine how packed this car was, because it was a 5-seated car, and there's 6 of us. It was cool. We were in the car for an hour just listening to Muse and other bands. Then we arrived to Warp Tour, and I should mention this is my first concert. Probably should have started somewhere a lot more calm than Warp Tour. It should have been a lot more calm, because it was my first. I didn't want it rough, but I did want to scream. My first concert should have been Fresh Beat Band. I totally would have mosh pitted there. So this being my first concert, I'm kind of getting nervous, but it went away almost immediately right after I saw this band called 68. So we get there, and as I said, this sunscreen didn't go away. We had to pour water in the eye because it looked messed up. Like, it was swollen and black and red and leaking. It looked like O.J. Simpson was in the car with all of us. So we pour water into her eye thinking it's going to go away, and no, it didn't. We go to this one stage waiting for this guy called Castlevania. I don't know him, but the people I was with wanted to go see him. But before him played this band called Tat. And this band sent me on a religious journey. This band was amazing. Definitely the best performance of the day. I fell in love with them right away. So if you go to Warped Tour, I definitely recommend you go see Tat. They do this thing where they pour Monster on themselves after every song. And it was amazing. Anyway, halfway during Tat, my cousin goes to the first aid tent. And we agreed to go pick her up after Castlevania. While Tat played, they played songs that were on this list. And after they finished, some janitor guy gave my group the list. And I was like, hey, do you want me to go get this sign? Since you could meet the bands after they play. And they're like, hell yeah. So I go into line to get it signed. And we waited. And they finally came to their tent, and the singer went around pouring Monster on everyone's head, and at that moment I was like, okay, I devote my life to you guys. I'm a Tat fangirl. I'm gonna start a religion called Tat Scans. I'm a tater tat. That's what I'm calling their fans, tater tats. Keep in mind, this is the first time I'm hearing about them. So when I finally go to the front, I meet the band, and it's awesome. They signed the paper. The singer played my hair because I have long, extremely curly hair. So she played a fit while the drummer told me he used to have hair like mine until he cut it. Anyway, since I was in line for a while, Castlevania started already. So I just explored Warped Tour. I walked around. I saw Metro Station play, and I went back to my group. Then we went to go get my cousin. And she was in the room by herself. Her eye was horrible. It was so bad, her mom had to drive all the way to Warped Tour and pick her up early. I felt really bad. So we stayed with her until she got picked up, and it was hot. So we were pretty thirsty. And there was this first aid, golf cart that had, a basket of waters in it. So when my cousin left, I got corrupted by the voices in my head. Or the two girls I was with telling me to get it. I stole the water, then the medic wasn't looking, but for some reason he had eyes on the back of his head. And then he walked over to me and told me not to steal stuff, then he told me to get out of his face, and he spat on me. No, he didn't spit on me, but he took off his glove, slapped me with it, and then we started fighting. No, he didn't. He could beat me up. He was twice my age and twice my size. And after that, my group saw a dubstep group called Split Breed, and I never really liked dubstep, but I can appreciate their fans because they get really into the music. There were people having seizures, and then the bass dropped, and they're jumping around. It was awesome. And after that, we saw Riff Raff. I didn't know who he was, but the people I were with wanted to see him, so we saw him. And to be honest, he sucked. He looked miserable. And Far East Movement came on with him, and they were cool. And I never heard them either, but I don't really like rap. But I have nothing against it. And Riff Raff almost blew up my head, blasting his music as loud as hell. I swear, while listening to him, I felt my IQ lowering. Anyway, after Riff Raff, we saw... Oh, I don't know this guy's name. But he was also a dubstep person. And he wasn't as good as Split Breed, but he was cool. Once again, the crowd jumping around. After that, we saw Memphis Mayfire, and they were amazing live. I've never heard them before, but it was cool. And after Memphis Mayfire, we sat down for around 40 minutes for Pierce the Veil. We were close to Black Veil Brides. I saw Farmer Andy in his overalls. Then it was time for me to see Pierce the Veil. And I was so close to them. I saw Vic and Jaime multiple times. They were the most hyped band of the night. So they came out and played Divine Zero, which is the song they released the day before, and they string things, like a container came to me. I saw Vic's life flash before my eyes. I wanted to grab it, but this girl in front of me grabbed it. And then after Divine Zero, they introduced themselves. They're like, "Hey, we're Pairs of Hell." And everyone's like, "Oh, are you?" I didn't know. And then they played Yeah Boy and Dollface, and then they played Come From Familia. I don't know how to say that. And I think that song had the craziest mosh pit. I was standing right in front of it, and people came out bloody faces, crying, or people would come out dragging knocked out people. But the song was amazing. Then they played Bull in the Bronx. So I almost cried because the amount of orgasm I had during those 4 minutes was too much for me, and it touched me on an emotional level. Like, I started seeing stuff. I was out of it. Like, I saw the lights go out, and the spotlight was on Vic as he flew up into the air like an angel. Then a spotlight was on me, and I was like, wow, there's a spotlight on me. And then Vic put his hand out, inviting me to grab him. And I grabbed it. He pulled me up into the air, and then he went in my bag and grabbed my sunscreen, sprayed it on me, then rubbed it in with his cheeks. And he looked me in the eyes, and then he closed his eyes, and then I closed mine. The song ended sadly. But then for the best part of the night, they played King for a Day. And it was like the best moment of my life. I Snapchatted the whole thing, so follow me on Snapchat. The whole song was crazy. I was being shoved the whole time, but I didn't mind. And they had smoke shoot out of the stage, and then they had confetti cannons. And I was standing in front of one, and a security guard warned us at last second. He was like, "Hey, move out of the way!" And then the cannon shot, and it rained confetti while my favorite song is being played live. It was an awesome moment, and I saw Andy Biersack give me a thumbs up for approval to take as much confetti as I wanted from what was left in the cannon. When everyone left, I have a lot of confetti in my room that I will never give up, for it has a stamp of approval from Andy Biersack himself. Then we started walking to the parking lot, and everyone walked in this tunnel shouting their favorite bands while other people yelled to support them. We're all walking, and everyone was happy and so nice. I've never seen so many people so nice in one place. It was cold, and all you hear is the voices of fellow fans of bands as you wait, as you were stuffed in the crowd. It was an amazing experience. I'll never forget it. It was amazing. The night was over, and that was my Warped Tour 2015 experience. I hate when you see a movie trailer and then you're like, oh my god, this trailer is amazing. And at the end, it's like, coming October 2095, and then you're like, god damn it.